Hello everyone, welcome once again to Everyday HDR. Today I'm going to show you how to fix these nasty night skies that happen when you take long exposure photography and you combine it with the HDR tone mapping process. Unfortunately, the tone mapping process is not very nice to black areas. So what I'm going to do is show you how to use some advanced selection skills to select the sky from a previous image so that we can fix this one up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the +1 EV exposure. I don't want to go to the -2 or -1 or the key image. I want to go to the +1 because the +1 is going to give me this nice transition of a midnight sky from blue up to black. It's not even black. It's probably a really dark blue. So what I'm going to do is add a little bit more to the black, a little bit of fill light, and then I'm going to go to my detail area and look at the noise that's happening here. And I've already done this before, so I'm going to zoom this into about 65% on the noise reduction in the black area. I'm not really concerned with what it did to the rest of the image because my main concern is the background. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my move tool, take my move tool and drag this and put it on top of my tone mapped image. And now I'm going to close this out. Now you don't necessarily need to concern yourself with making this line up perfectly right now. What I'm going to do is press Shift and select both layers. You can also press Control and select both layers. And I'm going to click on these faces right here. This is an auto alignment feature in Photoshop CS5. So press Auto and press OK. And what it's going to do is it's going to match up like pixels underneath and get these two images directly on top of each other for me so that I don't have to do any of that in the process. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my quick selection tool because I've got this nice midnight sky here, and I'm going to select layer 1. Now I'm going to use a very small brush, about 15 pixels. You see up here I got 15 pixels selected, and just start going over this black area. See, and immediately what it's going to do is grab everything in the area that it thinks it should be grabbing. Now the way the quick selection tool works is the longer you make your drag when you click and drag, the more it's going to select. So I'm going to press Alt and make short strokes so that it just picks up this area. And when I press Alt, it's deselecting the area when I hold down Alt. So now release Alt and let's go over here to this side and make our drags. And I don't want you to concern yourself too much with how well the selection is that you're making right now, because what we're going to do is we're going to refine this edge of the selection that we're making and really get down to the details of that edge. So go ahead and zoom into that area so that we can have a better viewing angle. Now go back up to your quick selection tool and go to refine edge. When you click on refine edge, you see this red stuff here if you have it set up the way that I do. Mine has it set up to overlay. So when I click overlay, it's going to show me the area that I have selected in the true color, which is that blue, and then everything else is going to be in red. So now what I get to do is press Smart Radius and start painting on this, and it's going to start selecting those pipes. And the smarter I make my radius, the more it's going to select for me. And once again, I'm not really too concerned with making this a perfect selection because I'm going to show you another masking technique that we're going to use to really clean up those areas that aren't necessarily so great. But now I've got my pipe selected pretty well. This is a great tool to use if you're trying to composite a person and put them on a background. If you want to get all their hair, this refine edge tool is amazing for that. So now I'm going to press OK. And I want the output to be the selection. I don't want it to be a layer mask yet. I want it to be outputted to the selection. And press OK. So now you can see it's selected those pipes a little bit better, but we still have some of these areas right here that were kind of difficult to hit. So what we're going to do is we're going to press Q and see exactly what it is our mask did again, it's going to show you the same thing that we're looking for, but now you have the ability to paint in those areas. If you paint in with black, it's going to add to your mask. If you paint in with white, it's going to remove the mask. So I'm going to go to a small brush, and I'm going to paint in with white. And my brush is set to 64%. So let me get it a little higher. Okay, 100%. Nice. Must have been preset from an image I was working on before. And I'm just going to draw these areas out. I don't need to make them perfect because I'm not, selecting someone's face. You're not really going to tell the difference when I get done with this. And if I select too much of the pipe, I can just switch on the fly by pressing X to go back and forth between black and white and pick up my black brush instead of my white brush. Okay, that looks good. So get out of quick selection mode by pressing Q again, and now press the mask button. What that's going to do is it's going to make a mask and everything that we didn't select. So now I can go in and I can crop this out and get that those corners out. Because if you look up there, those were the areas that didn't quite align for some reason or another. So now I can go and do whatever else I was going to do to this image. I can add a levels adjustment and maybe pull some of those mids back in. And go to curves, just give myself a little S curve because a little S curve makes everything better. And one thing that I saw in the original image that I really liked was the blue that was happening in this building before. So I'm going to bring that blue back in again by going to the mask and painting in with black on those areas to get those areas to come back in. Actually white, sorry. To get those blues back because those blues are pretty vibrant. I like those. I'm just lightly painting on the blue areas that I want to bring back in. And let's do a hue saturation because there's a lot of yellow going on. I don't know why Photomatix does that, but for some reason there's always a lot of yellow in everything I do. Maybe it's just the way I process compared to the way everyone else processes. And I'm going to bring the lightness down and really make this look like a silvery nighttime scene instead of a, fluorescent bulb nighttime scene. So I'm pretty satisfied with this. I would go ahead and flatten this now and be on my way. So just take a look at the difference. We've got this nasty HDR night sky, and now we've got this beautiful transition night sky. So I hope that helps in all of your endeavors in the future with long exposure and HDR photography. Again, if you have any questions, you can always contact me on my blog or contact me here on YouTube. Alright, thanks.